you're here. Hey, you made it. Awesome. I'm just trying to be quirky and awkward. I want you guys to enjoy the video. So, we're talking about my cutter friend and the conversation I remembered, having with her as I wrote and triple million zeros. No! Jesus loves you. I love you. You're cool. You're alright. You're okay. Just get through this. Just sit here with me. Just wait it out. That demon will go away. He gets bored. He wants to mess with something. Okay. This conversation I remember with my cutter friend was how she always says, I only cut the surface. I don't go all the way through. It's okay. It just helps me ease my pain to cause pain. Then I wrote this scenario out for her on my Facebook. And the scenario goes, so, you're so depressed now that you make the little cuts. And you can concentrate not to go through. You're not drunk, you're not under any influence. You can pay attention a little bit more. But the sorrow and this pain and this habit goes on, and it goes on, and it goes on, and you keep feeding it. And we all know this. Get a whole bag of chocolates. You're not going to stop until the whole bag's gone. You may be able to stop halfway, but you're always going to go past. It's so good. Even the bad stuff gets to the point where it's like you can't get enough of it. Remember the song they had out? It's so bad it feels good. It's like the wrong message. It's like telling everybody it would be good to kill yourself. It's not good to kill yourself. It's not good to sacrifice yourself or sacrifice anybody else. Jesus was the only sacrifice that needed. He's taking care of that devil and finished it right there on that cross. But you get into the habit of cutting, and you're not going through the skin. But later on, when you're old enough to drink, when you're old enough to smoke, when you're old enough to get your hands on some things, you got some money in your hands, and all the things you thought that would make you happy. I thought this comfortable chair would make life easier. Doing my work on the computer. It's nice, it's comfortable, but it's not a cure for an ache or a pain. It's gonna come. And then say, this is how I explain it to you. Say one night you're so depressed, you get some alcohol, you get completely wasted. Alcohol empowers emotion. It empowers the ability to not care. When kids are around it, it empowers the ability for that kid not to care. And that kid's going to school and he's beating up other kids and bullying them, trying to drive them over the edge, saying evil things to him, speaking death over his life. But you get drunk and you're sorrowful and you're older and you're able to get that. And because you're drunk and you're under this influence, it makes your emotion more powerful. It makes you feel like people are treating you even worse than they really are treating you. See, when we allow people to depress us and to upset us, we give them the power to do that. it's hard enough being sober and controlling the emotions that have been taught to you through movies, music, and I'm not calling out Hollywood as satanic. If any of them are satanic, they're not, they may think they are, whatever, but the devil has a plan, not people. People are used by the devil like God uses people. When people decide to allow Jesus to use them, they do things for God like this. Talking to you, a cutter who cares about themselves but don't know how to because no one else is showing you. You're in a dark world. I mean, this video that you're watching right now is like the only means of hope that you have right now, that this guy right here talking to you is making some sense to you. Maybe a few things I said gave you a little bit of hope or something because you're like, oh wait, somebody. But then you're thinking, this is just a video. This guy isn't really in front of me, face to face, with the guts to speak to me. And I cry because some of you are very, very, very hard to get through to. And I know because I'm hard to get through to sometimes. But a lot of times where people get upset with me when they're trying to get through to me are on the simple things. I still, every once in a while, when I get that anxiety, or I feel like overwhelmed, I still say it. A lot less than I did before. But I say it with knowing, Shane, fight this. Fight this. Fight this. Fight this. I have a daughter. I have a God that loves me and is like he's trying to say to me, to you tonight, that he loves you, that he cares about you, that he's got some really cool blessings coming. But if you cannot endure this, if you cannot overcome this, emotions sometimes can be way more overpowering than the actual enemy. Think about it. People, kids, they kill themselves over how they feel about what's going on, what's being said to them. No one's touching them. No one's hurting them. They feel like someone's coming to get them. They feel like impending doom is coming for them. They need to learn what I'm learning. That God has you in the palm of his hand. He loves you. Don't be that kid that starts cutting a little bit, or is cutting a little bit right now, but that follows into the rest of your life, into your adult life, where you're drinking, and the devil will let it get real good, so we can chop it off, and then you'll be like, what do I have now? It's the end. Because it's all taken away, because it's all gone. There's nothing left. What do I do now? I must have to end it because I can't take it. Yes, you can. God don't give you anything that you can't take. Look at my emotions right now. I'm almost crying myself because I'm thinking of what I could say to a world of depressed people. Those angry people, you, the random asshole, you are depressed. If you weren't depressed, you wouldn't be angry. If something wasn't wrong in your life, you wouldn't be angry. If something wasn't wrong with the people, I wouldn't cry. I wouldn't get upset at the demons, not only that are to try to get me, but they're trying to get you. They're trying to use me and you and plot us against each other. The fight isn't, it says the fight is not against the blood. It's not against the flesh. So when you're mean to me, I have to understand and I have to implement and I have to put that application in my brain that says this isn't the end because this person says this. I mean, how many things have you lived through that were physical? This is something mental that is not touching you. It's not coming for you. It's not at your front door. And even if it is at your front door, ignore it. Ignore it and get down and pray. That the God of the universe will show you grace and show up and protect you like He says He will. Because if you accept Him into your life, that He protects you, and no weapon formed by man can ever hurt you. Did you ever realize that the strongest weapon the devil has is your thoughts against yourself? First, the devil convinces you it's okay to do something stupid. Then he convinces you the guilt is too much to take for what you've done. Your mom and dad love you very much. Then you know what they've done for you. They tell you all the time. You grow up a little bit. You make this mistake. You don't want nobody to know. You take that one skeleton and you put it in a closet. You take another skeleton and you put it in the closet. By the time you're 39, you got a closet full of stuff. You are petrified. Your family and loved ones will find out about you and throw you to a curb and hate you. People have been expressing hate all around you. So the devil can have them help make you paranoid, make you upset, make you nervous, make you want to lash out in anger, in vengeance, in something that will ultimately end your life through an emotion, through a mental thought. The world, I know I'm a Christian, but I know a lot of you want us Christians to come down to your level. And I am. So when I say this, please forgive me, God, and please forgive me, people, when I say this. Because after I say it, you'll be like, oh, why are you apologizing for that? You don't understand how much I hold myself accountable, even though I know. The knowing God loves me is the only freedom I have. But this is what I wanted to say. From the day you were born into bondage, the devil has been trying to mind fuck you. He's been trying to fuck your brain up. I don't like cussing. And let me say something about the word fuck. Because I'm coming down to your level. I'm a Christian and I'm saying the word. There's a lot of things I still mess up on. Being Christian does not make you perfect and does not, doesn't X out certain things that are still there and are still habit. It just allows God to start changing you, to come in and do a renovation. But this is the thing that I get about what the devil did. Now, somebody always around me at some point will say, mother effer. I've always joked around and I've always taken things literally, and that's how my emotions start. And I've also, and humor would take things literally. So if somebody say, oh, mother effer or whatever, I'm like, you better not be effing my mother. And they'll go, huh? And their correlation of understanding is so far from the truth that they can't even understand what they're saying. Remember when they started with the word bad? That's bad. And it meant it was good. So from the beginning, the devil's been trying to distort how we act, what we say, what we do, so he can get into our mind what he needs into our mind so he can destroy. Literally, mother effer means somebody's fucking your mom to me. Which, I'm sorry again, and I apologize. I'm gonna stop right now saying the word. But if that word, the F word, what does it mean? It means this, right? What do guys think about? What does statistics guys think about more than anything throughout a whole day? Sex. What do movies show us the extent of what a man, a male species with the genitalia will do to satisfy that? I am not putting down Hollywood or Hollywood people at all, because it's not you. It's the principality. But American Pie, and I'm not downing, because I'm a man. I'm a male. I have one too. I know what it's like to try to act out something, fulfill something that you can't fulfill, an urge, whatever. I understand, and I know you understand. Okay, and I know it's part of the world culture's paranoia. Some people just don't care, you know, but one day they will, and one day they'll probably, you know, step in the wrong pile of shit and have it really attack their senses. A lot of times I would, let me finish off with the F word. I had a buddy of mine that came to live here with us during my time going to my Bible studies and going to church, and my life coach comes over usually every Tuesday, except when he's out of town and stuff. He gets around, but he'd come in here and he'd just cuss, and my whole thing is, dude, you know, I had enough of that growing up. You know, mom and dad, F this, F that, you did this, you did that, you F and F that, you know. And they can deny it as much as they want. Dad can't anymore, he's dead, so he's up, you know, with God, and every time he talks to me, I see him with God's hand on his shoulder going, Jamie, be nice. But this is the thing. The F word means this, right? I'm not going to explain that any further because it's bad enough. You start thinking about it and blah, blah, blah. But if it means that, and someone's going, yo, man, F, man, I don't effing care, whatever, no, F it. That F word means what? Okay. If that word is constantly being said every other word, and my dad would say it every other word, it's bad enough they had probably 3 lockers full of porn in the basement that I found when I was young. Mom found what I found under my bed. Asked me if I wanted her to take all her clothes off. It was like, I'm saying that real low because I don't even really want to say that, but I want to help y'all. I don't want to prevent things that happen to me from being said if it's going to help somebody else realize, you know, that we are all maybe not alike on the same day and the same level, but we've all had moments where we have done and felt alike things, thought alike things, because we're human and we have that nature in us. We have an appetite for things that are taught to us in our bondage. But if someone's constantly talking F this, F that, F this, F that, I mean, I'm sorry, but we all know about subliminals and we all know about brainwashing and all that stuff. And what is brainwashing? A constant repetition of things, you know? And people talk about, you know, the P word, genitalia for the women. They just say that word out. We listen to a lot of rap and things or whatever with a lot of that, you know, and a lot of talk about it and stuff. You know, I guess we gotta be truthful at some point. And I went over 10 minutes again. So I'm going to end this here, and I'm just going to call this the end, and I'm just going to finish this off. If we continue to say the F word around each other, it would make sense that the only thing that you could ever possibly think about. Now, I mean, like, if you were to say, like when I do my raps, if I write a rap and then I go to memorize it, I say it over and over and over and over. I read it over and over and over and over and over. Eventually, I have it in my head, and it's good, and then I have to keep on going over it. Now, the F word is constantly by our society said around people in places it shouldn't be, work, says you shouldn't, but they got leeway. They need people to work, and, it's hard to get, people to work if the majority of the world is a cusser. Then how do you hire people that don't cuss? I mean, to me, it is a miracle just to see a church full of people who have decided they don't want to anymore, or they would like to be a better person, or whatever, and all the people are still smoking cigarettes and drinking and cussing and this and that, they're all like, what? I ain't never quitting this, man. This is all I got. Or, whatever, man, life happens, God forgives you. I'm like, yeah, God forgives you, and you know what? If you accept Him into your heart, and I've heard Joyce Myers say this, I've heard him say other things. I think people are wrong when they say that the Bible is contradictory. I think it does seem contradictory. And I think for you to completely ever understand God completely, you would be a complete nutsack. Sorry, old habit. You would be a complete nutcase. Okay? You have to understand this. You will know without knowing, meaning that you will never know completely or all of it. You will only have enough of what you need. Like the manna God gave, He gave enough, and He said to go collect enough for the day. Not to gather enough in case there wasn't any tomorrow, or gather enough in case there wasn't enough the next day after that. God wants you to see His blessings over your life. So if you try to take care of everything yourself, it's going to be quite impossible to please God and get the blessings. In order to receive a blessing, you have to take it. What if the blessing is a thought that you had once? What if I quit smoking cigarettes? Maybe I'd be able to breathe more. Maybe I could go running with the dog, or maybe I could, just have better breathing or something like that. Now, you have to receive it. In order to receive it, you have to accept it. In order to accept it, you have to take that idea and start to apply it like I did. I mean, I started smoking cigarettes when I was 21, and I quit like 3 years ago. And I am so happy that I don't waste money on that anymore. I mean, that's extra money I have. That's extra life I have. And also, all of, if you really pay attention to all of the things it does to you along the long term, when you get sick, you can't smoke one because your phlegm's so thick or whatever. I hardly get sick now. Every once in a blue moon. I didn't get sick until I started going, until I got a job. And, people are sneezing and stuff at work or whatever. So, yeah. I really need to end this. It's already at 24 minutes. And I really just wanted this to be lighthearted and not so Jesus, but I'm glad that I talked to you guys about Jesus, and I'm glad that I expressed to you that He loves you with all of His fiber, and He made you with all of His fiber. And if a great king made something, would you want it? Well, a great king made something. want to stop cutting so you can have it. Because if you keep cutting, you'll lose what that king made. And what that king made was you. So let's go on Xbox and play some freaking Halo and appreciate all of the components God put in the earth. So scientists and geeky people, whatever, can make these awesome things that we can use to bring us together. This is something I truly believe. Say I hoard my Xbox. I don't want anybody to play it. Now let's say that, people online didn't exist. Oh, let me use a different one. Alright, I got a TV. I like the TV. The TV's awesome. I don't want anybody else to watch it with me. I don't want anybody else to share this with me because they might try to change the channel. They might even want it and try to take it. So I don't want to share it with anyone. I'm just going to watch it myself. But you're spending time with people on a tube that can't really talk to you. And after a long period of time, you start to feel sorrow and pain because the things God put around you and in your life, you're not able to see, hear, feel, or experience. And you become numb and careless. This is my thing. I had a friend who was, this is what I think about things. I had a friend, and he bought this new stereo. And he went on and on and on about a stereo. I know I go on about stuff too, but I wanted to make a point in my friend's life. And hopefully I did. He won't go to church with me and stuff like that. And I've asked him a couple times. Maybe I need to ask him more. But, he's bragging about his new stereo and stuff, talking about it. I was like, you know what I believe? I believe that God gave us things to bring us together. And God gave us things to share with others. You ever heard about a random act of kindness that you never really know the gift of giving until you've done it? Now, don't take that and go to give to people who won't even accept from you, that won't even. I want you to find someone who really needs something. I mean, this person's desperate or sorrowful or just down and out. Maybe a bum. Maybe someone who looks sad, and it don't have to be money. You could see somebody sad and just be like, hey man, you alright? You cool? You want to go to the arcade or something? You want to go out for pizza? You want to go to a movie? You want to go do something? I keep telling my life coach, and the movie came out, Heaven is Real. I was like, I want to go to that. I want to, I'm like a Christian. I go to a church and nobody invited me to a movie? A Christian movie? Even an awesome Christian movie to come out? Like, oh, new Christians, invite your new Christians to do those Christian things with you so they don't fall back to doing the things that got them in trouble in the first place. Don't leave your Christian friends alone all the time, especially if you know that they get depressed, if you know that they get sorrowful. Spend as much time as you can and then allow them to ease their way away from you back to where it is, because then, they'll be there and they'll be like, they'll go through that and then they'll feel bad or whatever, and then they'll be like, I really need to just go hang back out with my friends. I know it's going on 30 minutes, but I really want to get through to somebody. You ever heard the story about the little girl who was throwing all the starfish back in the ocean, and the old man goes, they're all going to die anyway. It doesn't matter. And the little girl goes, one, to that one impact, to that one that I saved and threw back in, to the ones I threw back in the ocean. It mattered to that one. It mattered to everyone that I tried. That I tried to give their lives back to them. Because they're sitting out there on the beach, ready, the sun's coming down, it's drying them out, and they're just sitting there waiting for their lives to just be ended. And a little girl comes along, and she knows they're alive. Maybe no one even told her, but she knows that they're living creatures. And she knows for some reason that they need to be in the water to live. She reaches her fragile little hand down and picks it up and throws it back into the water so it can live. There's one song by Eminem that helped me in a very sorrowful time. And I don't like to go back and listen to his stuff because I don't want to go back to cussing. I don't want to go back to that self-loathing and the hatred for life and pick up the world and drop it. But it was beautiful. And it was at a time where, you know, I thought about how senseless my life was and how it wouldn't amount to anything. So in that, I know for a fact that God can use everything for your greater good, not just the good stuff. He can use that bad stuff. He used it in me tonight with you, or today, or whatever time it is. Look, I know I don't know who you are, but it says in the Bible, hey, you're my brother, you're my sister, and I care about you, and Dad, Father in heaven, is telling me to say something, to have guts, to have courage, to be courageous, and just say it. Just say what's on my mind. Just vlog it. Just be a vlogging cognition. Cognitive thought, vlogging, feeling, emotion, experience. I'm going to say a prayer over you guys before I leave. Dear Lord Father, I lift these people up. I lift them out of their bondage. I lift them out of their cages, out of their self-made prisons in their minds. I lift them up and out and into life abundance, into life with less stress, less strife. I call these people watching right now out to be disciples of you, Lord, to bring the others trapped in the bondage to that ultimate freedom, to hear that still, calm voice, to have that smile that comes across their face that makes them feel at a positive 10 on crazy compared to when they were negative and they felt that negative 10. I pray over these people, Lord. I pray over their children. I pray over their families. I pray for Orlando to show up at my church and get saved so I can hang out with them in heaven when that time comes. To come back with God and reign on the earth. I pray over you with the sorrow, over you with the cutting, that it stops. I pray that you all who are watching this now would pray over my life. If you want some things to pray over, just watch my videos. Just be my friend on Facebook and see what I'm talking about. If you want to know what to pray for. Or you can just say a prayer and say, God, help these people with what they need help with. Lift these people up how they need lifted up. Encourage these people how they need to be encouraged. Give them the courage, the knowledge, the strength, the ability, the know-how to overcome everything coming against them in their lives. Give them the courage to turn that evil in their life inside out, or just to allow you to turn that inside out and be used to glorify you, Lord. I'm not the smartest person in the world, even though my mom thinks I'm a genius, a poor genius. But I lift you up in the name of Jesus Christ, in the power, in the spirit of our wonderful and most awesome Lord, who brings the blessings to truth, to being. He materializes what you expect in front of you. Stop expecting the impending doom. Stop expecting the tragedy and the catastrophes. I pray over you to stop expecting the negative, because it's been taught to you and just prone over you and drone over you and just taught to you and just repeated over you and brainwashed in you, that you renew your mind today through Jesus Christ, that you allow the freedom of your mind out of bondage. You are not in bondage anymore. You are over it. You are hovering above that bondage with Jesus Christ right now. And He loves you, and He's going to use you. This week, you will see Him use you in a way that you've never ever expected in your entire life. If I have helped you, pray for me, because I am not perfect either. And the devil drives me just as insane as the rest of you. I love you. Jesus loves you. Big hugs. Big hugs. Be courageous, people. And in the words of my favorite vlogger in the whole wide world, bye-bye.